everyone, welcome to another video. This one is about taking annual leave during semester. Hey, if you're new, my name is Caroline. I'm a senior lecturer based here in the UK. I specialise in physics. I teach in both the semesters at my university. So currently we're in semester 1 and we're just starting week 6. And the term runs, it's 11 weeks till we break for our winter vacation. And one topic that I think sometimes, it might divide opinion is whether, as an academic, so as a lecturer or a professor, should you be taking holiday during the semester time? And my background, so before I became a university lecturer, I worked for many, many years in industry. And of course, during that period, I have an annual leave allowance. And there are times when I typically would take that annual leave. So a summer vacation period, usually sometime in the winter, like a Christmas vacation period. But I wasn't constrained to need to take it at certain times because that wasn't the nature of the job. However, now I'm a university lecturer, obviously I have teaching obligations. So when it is semester time, I lead 4 modules and I also teach on a 5th. So I have a couple of modules this semester and 2 or 3 modules next semester. And that means I have contact hours. So there's certain times in the week that I have to be physically in a classroom, in a lecture theatre, giving class. And obviously that's going to have an impact on when and where I choose to take holiday. However, this last week in the UK, and I think for some places this current week as well, for the schools in the United Kingdom, so your school-aged children, they have a half term. So they get a holiday week in the middle of their school kind of term structure. Now, I don't get that as a university lecturer, so there is no break in teaching at my university. But, it made me think, is there ever a place to be taking annual leave during university teaching time? And obviously, yes, there is, so I look back at my records, I'm pretty sure I have taken, the odd day here and there during a teaching semester. And I know for colleagues who've got family commitments that actually that half-term week is a really precious week to be able to spend some time with your children, with your family, whilst they're away from school. So it got me thinking, how do you know when and how to juggle taking annual leave if you've also got to teach? For me then, I didn't take any annual leave last week in the kind of the half-term week, but I'm debating taking a half day off this week. And I'm thinking about that for a couple of reasons. So we're currently at the midpoint of our semester before we break for the Christmas vacation. And so I've been teaching now for 5 weeks, and we're at that kind of that halfway stage. And actually, there's something quite appealing about having a cheeky half day annual leave, just to take a step away from the kind of the teaching preparations and from the research and just kind of have a little bit of time out. So although I'm not being pulled by like childcare reasons or by, family commitment reasons, I am thinking maybe I will coordinate around my teaching to be able to have, a short period of time, day, half day away, which isn't something I typically think about doing. But I think maybe I should be thinking about doing that more. I think it's possibly healthy. Semester can be quite long and you've got to keep your energy levels up from start to finish. You want to end your lecture courses hopefully as enthusiastically as you started your lecture courses. And there's a lot to be done during semester. So it's not just the teaching. It's so easy for the teaching to be the top thing because that's the thing you have to walk into the lecture theatre and deliver week in, week out. But there's so much else going on, so I've got a whole research program of work that's happening with PhD researchers. There's a really good grant application deadline coming up, and I know I need to write that grant application, and that's non-trivial. I can't leave that to the last minute, and I have to put in requests at the university to have financial people support me in writing that bid process, so that takes time. This year again, I'm hosting the university podcast. So again, that will be coming out. And we are not only recording episodes, but setting up a new studio, getting all the technical equipment ready, sound balancing mixers. I'm going to be using that new podcast studio in my teaching next semester, so I'm getting ready for that as well. There's just a lot of things happening that are exciting, but at the same time, I know it's healthy just to pause every now and then and take a breather before kind of running headlong back into the rest of semester. So I'm just being really curious. Do you work as an academic? Do you take holidays during university term time? Do you try to actively avoid taking holiday periods? So for us, my main teaching, semester one, will end at the second week in December, and then my students will come back and take their exams in January. So actually our second semester doesn't start really until February. So although January is full of exams and assessments and marking, I haven't got to go into the lecture theatre and to deliver lectures during those few weeks. So actually that can be a really good time if I want to try to take a few days a week annual leave before the next semester starts. But of course, technically that is during semester, that is during term time. And then it's that kind of crossover debate, isn't it? Because being an academic, it's a very privileged career to follow. I'm very fortunate to spend all my time, well, not all my time, a lot of my time researching and working in an area that I absolutely love. But at the same time, it is also a job, and you need to be, mindful of making sure that you're being compensated for your job, both in terms of your salary, but also your annual leave is part of that package for you doing that particular job. And oh my gosh, every single year I think I've worked as an academic, I've never used up all my leave. Never. And that's not me complaining about it. It's just a fact. I've just not used it up. And I wonder if that's because I'm not good at allowing myself to take occasional days, long weekends, bits of time off within the semester. Because then it pushes all of your holiday period, obviously, into the summer period. But then typically then is when you want to be doing most of your research. And again, I guess it's a different position if you are teaching maybe younger students. So if you're teaching within a school environment or a college environment, you don't necessarily have that flexibility to be able to take the time off because you are teaching every single day of the week, whilst I am only teaching, I think it's on 3.5 days of the week. So it's interesting. It is an interesting one. And I just thought, as for a really lovely friendly little community here on YouTube, I would ask your views and your opinions. Is taking annual leave something you would consider or actively do as a university academic? Let me know in the comments. I'm going to hopefully have a really fun week doing a nice mix of research and teaching and possibly half a day of annual leave. But if you're new around here, hit subscribe, join our little friendly space here on YouTube. Have an awesome week. Look after yourselves and let me know in the comments, what do you think about taking holiday during term? I'll see you next Monday. Bye.